Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I'm thrilled to be opening the debate in the Chamber tonight as the constituency MSP for Motherwell and Wishaw, and for complete transparency, chaotic neutral. I want to thank my colleagues in the Chamber for their participation in supporting the motion. Last year was the inaugural Scottish Games Week, and I'd like to pay tribute to the indomitable Brian Baglow of Scottish Games Network for drawing it together. His determined advocacy for the games sector in Scotland has brought gaming into the spotlight, and it was brilliant to see the fruits of his labour in dynamic earth for the opening of the conference. There's a plethora of exciting events still to come this week until the 7th of November, so please do get involved where you can. So why is the games sector underrepresented in our public policy? And crucially, how are we going to change that? The games industry is the largest entertainment media in the world by some distance. Global market revenues stand at $214.2 billion, with a projected annual growth of 8.4%. The sector eclipses traditional entertainment media, worth more than the music and video industries combined. And the headline figures paint a picture of a colossal economic potential. But the games sector is much more than that. The games sector is an ecosystem, and if we can support the games ecosystem in Scotland to thrive, it will bring enormous benefits to our society economically and, yes, socially and culturally too. We all know the big players. We're not far from one of them. But I'm interested in looking at not the big players, but the big picture in Scotland. So there are innovative small studios across the country, and they need our sport to flourish. It takes a lot to make a game, and it's a hard slog. But there are opportunities for software developers, coders, engineers, actors, artists, musicians, writers, animators, graphic designers, translators, advertisers, educators, lawyers, event planners, and I could go on and on, Presiding Officer. But the games industry will touch every aspect of our lives, every sector of the economy, health and our health and social contract with the people of Scotland. With a little more collaboration and a drive to coordinated public policy, we can make the most of this ecosystem in Scotland. People in the room might not think they're gamers, but if you've used or enjoyed game tech without knowing it, you've probably used it without knowing it. Just about every film being produced in Hollywood now is reliant upon games engines for their effects. You may be playing Wordle or Candy Crush, and forget snakes in a plane. You might even be doing snakes on your phone in the chamber as we speak, or have done so in the past. The sector is thriving globally. It can provide employment, it can build skills and development, it can foster community, and it can even foster social change. You might remember the story of the virtual library on Minecraft, created by the Reporters Without Borders, which has hosted important works censored by their states. Articles by Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist killed by Saudi agents in 2018, amongst others that can be read there. For me, that's a perfect example of games being used in ways that few of us could have envisaged and imagined. Have you considered video games as a vehicle for social change? Academia is starting to demonstrate the benefits that games can through social inclusion and challenging inequalities in games events and games competitions. And research by Harshada Balasubramanian of the University College London indicates that investing in inclusion can improve the overall experience for all games users and expand design and innovation. Gaming is changing our social and cultural norms, but the games sector remains somewhat poorly understood. We need to challenge tired perceptions of video games and recognise that gamifying of industries like forestry, helicopter training, remote surgery, the list goes on. And we know that gaming can improve cognition and research and is increasingly promising around the use of games technology in learning and managing conditions such as dementia and Parkinson's. Think we could achieve with a coordinated approach to our games ecosystem. One fit for purpose, where the creativity of the industry is fully recognised and valued and supported. For example, unlike Wales and England and Toronto in Canada, Our game system sits out with Screen Scotland, alongside other organisations, Educators Scotland, such as Crafts. But should it be there? And we need to have that conversation with the industry. In many respects, the sector in Scotland is doing well. Following the inaugural Scottish Games Week last year, I was pleased to see the launch of TechScaler, funded by the Scottish Government and delivered by Codebase. This tension between creativity and commerce was highlighted by a report from Glasgow University and Stirling University with the Scottish Games network called In-Game. The Scottish Games ecosystem, the state of play. There are colleges across Scotland offering education courses. Abertay is held out as a totemic example of game-specific education. But our school curriculum and our college curriculum needs to keep pace with AI developments. But we're only just embedding coding skills at the moment. ChatGPT can do the coding for you, as highlighted by keynote speaker Rob Ellsworthy, lecturer at Toronto Film School and studio head at the launch of the Games Network. We need to link opportunity with schools and colleges and with their apprenticeships. Generally, we need more collaboration between the Games and other sectors. We can't see opportunity and funding being taken up in the north of England and in Wales because Games in Scotland are shut off from the funders from their film industries. Previously, you lived or died by your ability to get into the largest magazine publication. But new platforms like Steam and Discord mean that Twitch and YouTube have changed all of that. And many of the developers don't go into gaming to become entrepreneurs or business leaders. The feedback from Scottish Games Week suggests that supporting developers on the commercial side is a key challenge for public policy and something we need to model to suit the ecosystem in Scotland. Small business start-up models traditionally supported by local gateways or Scottish enterprise simply do not support the industry in the way that they need to grow. Studios like Team Terrible and their mega hit The Baby in Yellow is a glowing example of the new success stories. But we could replicate these successes over and over again. I was dejected to hear that Scottish Games Week has lost out on its ecosystem funding for next year. But we are building momentum for this sector and we need public institutions behind it. A healthy, vibrant games ecosystem in Scotland, supported by collaborative and strategic public policy, will bring immense social, cultural and economic benefits alongside innovations that we cannot yet predict. In short, the games sector is here to play, and that is a World Cup Scotland could be winning. And thank you, Presiding Officer. Well done.